Hello, beautiful people. My name is Funke Akindele-Bello, and you're watching This Nigeria. Keep watching.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Newspaper Review on This Nigeria. My name is Femi Okunlaya. Good morning. And this morning I'll be taking stories from This Nigeria newspaper, Punch newspaper, The Nation, New Telegraph, This Day newspaper, and Leadership newspaper. And now I'll start from This Nigeria newspaper. I'll go through the headlines before reading or going through some of the stories. On This Nigeria newspaper this morning, the headlines: presidential tickets, APC splits into camps as court stop convention, aspirant proxies put pressure on Buhari in London. Another headline: Buhari, APC perfect example of arrogance in failure, says PDP. American journalist Reynard killed by Russian troops in Kiev. RCCG memo: PFN asks churches to create politics departments ahead of 2023. On COVID-19 recovery, World Bank approves $750 million for Nigeria. Another story: defection, fear grips Ayade Matawale over Umai's judicial. Punch newspaper headline: Bunny may head APC convention, uncertainty surrounds zoning. President asked Yobe governor to lead party to national summit. You can get more of that story from the Punch newspaper. Another story: General Overseer heading for Kenyan crusade arrested with cannabis in Lagos. General Overseer arrested in Lagos with cannabis. And another story we take this morning from also the Punch newspaper: NDLEA traces 4.2 billion naira to Abba Kyari co-accused accounts. We won't make gunpoint negotiations with ASU, says government. Talks with Labour on fuel subsidy removal ongoing, federal government. And now to The Nation newspaper this morning: APC chair, pressure mounts on Buhari to drop Adamu. IMF to help Nigeria, others on debt tax. And also, INEC should not meddle in party affairs, says Olawepo Ashim. PDP does not belong to Wike, says Obaseki. Russia-Ukraine war, a threat to Nigeria's food security. Oh, look at the New Telegraph this morning: police to embark on 2-week warning strike, March 26th, says federal government hasn't increased salaries. Another now: APC crisis, presidency re-strategizes soft pedals on Bunny. And also, Obasanjo said this: I was reluctant in ruling Nigeria, but power kept chasing me. And now to This Day newspaper this morning: APC moves to retain Bunny as interim chair, Bello as acting chair. APC crisis stalls defection suits against Tambowal, Autumn, and Obaseki. And now to the Leadership newspaper this morning: Bunny gets President Muhammadu Buhari's nod to conduct APC convention. PDP begins meeting on party primaries, others today. Presidency unveils plan to end fuel scarcity. Dangote pledges great investment in women empowerment. And the last, I will start from the presidential tickets. The ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, have split into camps as each just so to position its candidate for the party's presidential ticket. This Nigeria reporter learned yesterday that no fewer than 3 influential APC state governors from the Northwest and Southwest, as well as other top party officials, have relocated to London to put pressure on President Muhammadu Buhari to favor their candidate. You can get more of that story from page 2 of This Nigeria newspaper. Presidential ticket, APC split into camps. Another story we're looking at this morning is on COVID-19 recovery. The World Bank has said that a total amount of $750 million has been earmarked to be given to Nigeria for COVID-19 recovery under the COVID Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program. The FCT will benefit to the tune of $15 million, while all the states will get $20 million each. Out of the $735 million, the federal government will get $15 million for logistics in technical assistance and coordination. You can get more of that story from page 4 of this Nigerian newspaper. Another story, divorce religion from politics, Momodu wants. Presidential aspirant and journalist Dele Momodu has urged church leaders, particularly of the Redeemed Christian Church of God RCCG, to stop mixing religion with politics. Momodu's admonition came in the wake of declaration of support for the church, asking others to create directorates for politics. You can get more of that story from page 4 of this Nigeria newspaper. Another story we are looking at this morning, defection, fear grips Ayade Matawale over Umai's judicial ouster. On page 2 of this Nigeria newspaper, last week's spanner in the works judgment by Justice Ekwo Inyang of the Abuja division of the Federal High Court sacking of Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State is inducing political fever in Zamfara and Cross River State. The governors of both states, Bello Matawale and Ben Ayade, aside others on the legislative executive list, who have benefited from the largesse of the defection of other parties after securing elections on the platform of another, are apprehensive of what will become their fate after the dramatic happenings in Ebonyi. You can get more of that story from this Nigeria newspaper. Another story we're looking at this morning, Buhari, APC perfect examples of arrogance in failures, says PDP. On the page 14 of this Nigeria newspaper this morning, the People Democratic Party, PDP, yesterday described the President Muhammadu Buhari-led All Progressive Congress APC administration as a perfect example of arrogance in failure. The PDP asserted that Buhari presides over the most rudderless, corrupt, disunited, disorganized and arrogant political party and the government in the history of the country, a fact that is already established by Nigerians across board. You can check more of that story from this Nigeria newspaper. Buhari, APC perfect examples of arrogance in failure, says PDP. Another big interview we have in our front this morning, ASU has no agreement yet with the federal government on condition of service welfare, Ngige said. Minister of Labour and Employment Senator Chris Ngige had an interview with our correspondent Kajetan Muta, and he speaks on the nationwide strike by the members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, their demand for total reform in the nation's university system and other welfare issues that have generated controversies. You can get that from page 9 and 21 of this Nigeria newspaper. Another story we are looking at this morning will be taken from page 16 of this Nigeria newspaper. The last story we'll be taking this morning will be a feature, Bamishe, Will Justice Be Served? Two similar heart-rending stories, and the nation is bloodily gutted with another grief, while Avera Omozuwa was studying microbiology at a university in Nigeria's southern city of Benin before she was brutally murdered by the goons of darkness in June last year. Another story came, Oluwabamishe Ayonwole's son came on February 26th this year. She was aged 22. She was reportedly killed by God knows who in the Bus Rapid Transit BRT on Carter Bridge in Lagos before her body was tossed to a bus stop in the emblematic Ebutero area of Lagos Island for a public show by an SUV vehicle. You can get more of that story in our feature on page 16 of this Nigeria newspaper. And that's a wrap up of newspaper review on This Nigeria. I took stories from Punch newspaper, The Nation, New Telegraph, This Day, Leadership newspaper, and This Nigeria newspaper. Join us again next week for another edition of newspaper review on This Nigeria. My name is Femi Okunlaya. Do have a wonderful day.